Good morning. How's everybody doing? How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, or perhaps what it is good evening. Wherever it is you're calling in from, looking in from. We're here streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X. So you could be doing anything, whatever it is. I say, welcome. How are you? I'd love to know what that weather looks like wherever you are, and say hello. Drop something about what's going on with you in the comments if you want to. If not, it's okay. Sit back and listen. Those of you live or on the replay, how you doing? I'm coming to you from Detroit, Michigan, and you can perhaps see some of the light coming in here from the side because the sun is out. I may have to shut those blinds in a minute because the sun is brilliant. It's coming out beautifully, and it's supposed to be in the 80s today. My goodness, what's the weather like where you are, and what's been going on in your world? What you think about that Kentucky Derby? You know, a friend of mine texted me right before the race and asked me who'd I have my money on, because his was on Sierra Leone. And I started to say, well, you know, I think I'll do that too. Maybe I'll rush. And then I said, no. But turned out Misty Dan came straight on in there because I looked up the odds and everyone thought, I think, it was going to be Sierra Leone. But Mystic Dan, my daughter and her family were at the Kentucky Derby and their friends, and it looked like it was fantastic. Any of you go down there or watch it? One of those exciting things that happens. So listen, drop me a comment. How are you this morning? Just so glad to see. Yes, Mr. Dan for the win. Did you have some money on that, Donna? Good morning to you. Good morning, Trinette. So good to see you, Dr. Pierre from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Ooh, hot and humid in the 90s. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So it's going to be a hot one there. So I'm not looking for that kind of hot weather, but you know what? Whatever God brings us, I'm grateful for, because I got up this morning to be able to see it and talk about it and say hello to all of you. Melissa, so good to see you this morning. What a pleasure. Uh, you know, I just love getting up in these kinds of mornings when the sun is out and it's bright and we're all together. Um, and we're all together here and coming together for the lesson this morning that I plan to teach. It's going to be a good one, juicy one. Yeah, Louisville. And so, oh, Derby time. Yes. Okay. So, you know, we miss you here in Michigan now. So, but I'm glad you're having good times in Kentucky. Yes. Yes, Trinette says we on the right side of the dirt. Yes, yes. Well, good morning, Trinette and Donna and Melissa and all of you, those vibrant, my vibrant leaders who are with us today. I'm so delighted to see you and to have this great conversation. Please remember to say hello. If you've got questions, I would love to uh, have you ask them and just put them in the chat, and I will get to them after I do some teaching. Okay, I'm Dr. Geneva. For those of you I haven't met yet, haven't had the pleasure, I'm a top LinkedIn leadership voice on a mission to empower women to elevate their leadership and well being and joy. Now, I've successfully led several nonprofits and businesses, for profit businesses, for over 30 years. And I have had many experiences trying to balance my roles to try to keep it together as a leader and as a loving wife for 4 decades of marriage and a mother raising 3 children. So I'm now a business and nonprofit consultant and a certified life coach. And one of the most persistent, constant issues that highly successful women leaders I coach bring to me is their struggle to balance their leadership roles with their family responsibilities. And then recently, when I asked one of my team members for suggestions of topics to cover in 2024, she shared her own powerful story. She's running a business, doing very well, really moving on up and expanding that business. And it so happens that her significant other, her spouse, her hubby, job kept him traveling a lot. So a lot of times he wasn't home. But then things switched, and the job changed and kept him at home in town, no more traveling. And so all of the systems she had worked out, all the things she got used to, changed in a flash. And so she really was experiencing this challenge of trying to manage those relationships, be the super duper entrepreneur and make money, and try to keep all that together. And her story is far from unique. I was just reading about Deloitte's latest Women at Work report, which reveals that women face mounting pressures at home and work. And so, to many of you out there, that ain't nothing new. But this was a global study, and it really pointed out that what we know to be true, women across the globe are experiencing this. And the issues are beyond the paycheck, beyond the pay gap, and the questions about pay equality. This study found that a disproportionate number of women had d- were dealing with domestic responsibilities greater than anything else. And this disproportionate share of domestic responsibilities was taking a toll on their careers and their mental health, with about half of the women surveyed reporting increased stress levels compared to the year before. And so the study also found that despite progress, many women feel unsupported by their employers when balancing the work and personal commitments. And many women just feel alone out there. And so, through my own journey and in coaching others, I've learned that keeping it together as a leader and as a mom and spouse is often both and proposition, that you got to find ways to do both and that's better than either or, and you can do it. And really it involves looking at and thinking about it in two ways, both as ourself and our own personal growth and what we have to do for ourselves, and also understanding and being able to deal with and manage relationships with others, our family. Okay, so it's a double perspective that we have to keep in, and in that, really in that lies the opportunities and the great strategies when we can keep that perspective in mind. I'm going to say a little bit more about that, but I particularly want you as leaders to stop for a minute and recognize that those skills that you um, very well exhibit in the workplace, in your career, in your business, really can translate into the relationship management that you do at home with your loved ones. So just I'm going to let that sit for a moment. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. And it's because of the experience that I've had in doing this and keeping this together that I'm coming to you today to share these practical strategies and tips for successfully navigating the demands of leadership and family life. And so I want to get started, but I also want to say that if you want to get these tips and gems of wisdom, you can get them on a daily basis when you come on and join my community at Elevate Next Level Success. So I'd love for you to think about that and join me on a day-to-day basis where we can have these conversations about what makes success possible and what we need to do to lead better, to have more joy in life and be successful. Okay, so let's get started. One of the most, just want to see your comments. Yes, hello to everyone. Yes, I see you all coming in and commenting. Remember, you got questions, leave them in the chat. Now, one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned about maintaining harmony between my career and personal life is to celebrate what you've achieved. So I had to bring this up first and foremost. If you're listening live or on the replay and you're a woman leader and you here, I just want to congratulate you for making it thus far. Because, if you're juggling career, running a business, managing a nonprofit, leading a healthcare organization, and you are balancing family responsibilities of any kind, raising children, getting ready to see them going out, being an empty nest with a significant other, spouse, uh, single, whatever, you deserve a standing ovation. Because let's face it, this ain't easy work, okay? But you've proven you've got what it takes, and that's what matters. And as you congratulate yourself, celebrate where you've come, give yourself a pat on the back. As you do that for you, I want you to also think about your significant other or your family members, your children who have also helped you, who have also supported you, and figure out ways that you could be each other's cheerleader. Because that's one of the key strategies as we try to figure out how to keep it together, that we need people around us who are going to support us and be each other's cheerleaders. And we often talk about, if you're a leader, one of the key things to do is to develop your advisory council or your board of directors, people in your industry, mentors, colleagues, bosses, peers, people that you know who can support you. Oftentimes, we forget that the people we live at home with can be our strongest support network. So, as we celebrate our achievements and always reflect on the good that we do and how we've made it thus far, there are also significant others um, who are part of that support network, and small gestures of gratitude or acknowledgement of your partner's effort can make a significant impact because you're making them feel valued and loved. Now, I know there are times where you don't want to say, thank you, and you don't want to acknowledge anything. I know that because, that's life. That's what happens. But more often than not, we move to that as opposed to taking a deep breath and saying, well, let me just stop for a moment and turn to my partner or turn to my children and say, thanks for doing that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Small gestures or going out and, surprising your loved one with tickets to the movies or a special dinner. Small gestures of gratitude. So you want to do that for yourself, okay, that pat on the back, and you want to do that same thing for others. So it's time to rejoice and congratulate yourself. And don't forget to acknowledge help from others. Now, uh, a pivotal moment really came into my life when I started implementing this next strategy to balance leadership and family life. And it was all about at a time in my career when I felt like everything was spinning out of control. There wasn't anything that I could do to stop it. I just felt SEO all the time. Now I know, excuse me, I know most of you think that I mean, I'm going to have to excuse myself while I cough. Excuse me. Okay, let me get some of this water. Okay. When I say I was SEO all the time, I know many of you are thinking that I'm talking about search engine optimized. Mm-mm. No, I'm talking about stressed out, exhausted, and overwhelmed. SEO, my SEO. That used to be my middle name. And one day, things were just so crazy. I had so much to do that I said to myself, stop. I just yelled at myself. I called myself by name. So I said, stop, Gigi. And I halted in my tracks where I was, put my hands on the desk, and just took a deep breath. And when I finished taking that deep breath, I said, it's going to be all right. That has become a strategy that not only I've perfected, developed, but I teach on as well. It is an amazing tactic. And I have to tell myself sometimes to do that stop, halt in what we're doing because we're so busy. We're oftentimes not in the present. And when we put ourselves in the present, things get a different perspective. It means that you are stopping to think about yourself and who you are. And in this moment, you're not worried about the future or obsessing about things that happened in the past. You're here right now. And this is an incredible strategy to use. I've combined the breathing, because you always hear about breathe, with instructions to myself, but then ending it with, it's going to be all right, or your own positive affirmation. And the thing about this strategy is you can do it anywhere, anytime. The point is to remember it and to do it. And it's important to pause and believe in yourself and tell yourself that it's going to be okay and that um, you'll be all right. And what we do with and for ourselves is so important. I remember when I was um, complaining and went to my mom and I talked to her about all this stress that I was going through. And she told me that she was sorry for what I was putting myself through. And those words resonate to me even today, this day, because in essence, what she was saying is, all you going through, that SEO or that trauma drama, running around like you're crazy, feeling like you can't stop, fast breath, the whole bit, arguing with your man, all of this, yelling at the kids, all of that. She said, that's you putting yourself through that. And so it's this inner look that really what this second strategy of stop, breathe, and believe really talks about. And the importance of maintaining our individual selves and identities. And it's important too to encourage our significant other to do the same. To stop, take a moment to breathe, to affirm ourselves, to believe in ourselves, and do something that we enjoy or have fun. Enjoy those hobbies, enjoy those good times, take a walk, draw, create. I got coloring books all the time. I got stacks and stacks of coloring books that I will stop, breathe, say it's all right, and let me pick up and do something else for a moment that's creative or what have you. So, this strategy you can use for yourself, but it's also something that you can, stop the chaos around you and also help your partner with as well. So the next piece of the puzzle that of trying to keep it together that I found incredibly effective in striking this balance is creating this routine. Listen, bottom line, you just have to be organized. You have to develop the systems and the habits so that you can put some routine in your life, something that gives you certainty. See, that's what routines do. They give us a measure of certainty. So, whatever it is, my morning routine is I get up at the same time every morning. My alarm, 7 days a week, my alarm is set at the same time every day. I'll do something physical, body movement. It'll be exercise, strength training, a walk. I make up my bed no matter what, even if my cleaning lady is coming and she got to take the sheets off. They now know that just because you come in and see my bed made, it doesn't mean that you still have to unmake it, take the sheets off and wash them, because every morning that's part of my routine to make my bed. And what this does for us, it creates this level of certainty and habits that we can count on, that we expect, and that we do. And you just can't be disorganized. and keep it together. And that extends also to those that you live with and those you love, to help them get into or to encourage routines. Now, of course, if you got children that you're raising, you can work with them to develop their routines. After dinner, you wash the dishes, you get up, you clean your room. I know that there are many of y'all out there who were raised with certain routines, chores that you did. We used to call them chores. I know that every Saturday when I was growing up, I had housework to do. I scrubbed the floors, I cleaned toilets and bathrooms. My mom had it all laid out for me. And I used to say, what we'd be thinking back then, bless her, raise her, bless her heart. We'd be thinking what we'd be doing. But after a while, it just became a habit. It was something I was supposed to do. And today, I bless that, her instilling in me the absolute necessity of being organized, having a routine, having habits to do that I could depend on. Because one of the things I've learned to keep it together, you just have to be organized. You have to find ways to increase your productivity and efficiency. Everything from, doing similar tasks together at the same time. If you're going to do some housework, just don't throw some clothes in the washing machine. Go on, throw those clothes in, mop, dust, pick up clothes, whatever. Batch similar tasks. Set timers, 10 minutes. Oftentimes, I can't tell you how many times when I don't want to clean up or do something to pick up or go straighten out that bookcase or clean my office, I'll say, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes and I'm going to do nothing but clean my office. And in those 10 minutes, I have a choice. I can continue after the 10 minutes are up, or I can stop at the 10 minutes and say, good job, because you've accomplished something, and you will accomplish. The bottom line is, I do not care what it is you use, what system you put in place. You got to be organized in order to keep it together during these times when you're balancing your leadership and your family commitments. And think about the systems and procedures and practices you put in at work or at your career or in your business. You couldn't do your job unless there were practices that worked, and them. You're going to take those leadership skills that you've developed, elevate, as you rise in your career, and you're going to put them in your home. They work the same. Okay. All right. So you still with me? All right. So I can confidently say that this next strategy has been a game changer for me. And that is to build your dream team. And again, you leaders, I'm talking to you leaders out there, okay? I know what you do on the job. I know how you run your businesses. You build teams. You put high priority in good decision making, delegating, inspiring people to do their jobs, to take the next steps. You do that. You need to build your own dream team for what you do at home, in your home life, in your home environment, because this is going to help keep you together. Because if nothing else, it's going to decrease stress because you're delegating things out. And your team may include someone who cleans your house, a tutor for your kids, someone will do transportation. When I was coming through my career with my younger children, and they had all these kinds of activities, I hired someone to go to their school, meet them, wait for me to come pick them up. I still had to transport and come on. I picked them up. We went home. Miss Annie, that was her name. She would help them with their homework, get them ready, maybe get a snack. That little simple thing was a stress reliever beyond anything. Now, she didn't drive, so I still had to do the transport, but her helping me with them in just that little bit of space, and it took a couple hours, which means if I could afford it. Okay, so it wasn't like a whole 8 hours and I had to pay for transportation and gas and everything else. It was like 2 hours, and that 2 hours was so precious and valuable. It was amazing, and what I'm saying is whatever your situation is, whether you have children at home, whether you're an empty nester, whether, you're an entrepreneur managing a healthcare organization, whatever it is, please build your dream team, the group of services and people who can help you do the laundry, a personal trainer. So you have someone who cleans your house, someone who helps train you, someone who helps you with the kids, someone who helps you with duties, what household duties, whatever it is. The point is that you're going to be intentional about seeking external support to build yourself a dream team, just like you do at work. And when you have these people who can support you and you can delegate tasks to, that's what I'm talking about. That's the dream team that can help you keep it together. It's been a game changer for me. And listen, don't pay no attention to what anybody says to you about, oh, you got someone to come in and clean your house, or oh, you got someone to pick up your kids, or whatever it is. Don't pay no attention. Just smile and go on, because that time that you've saved for your own thing, you can go get a massage, you can have date night with your husband, you can do a whole bunch of things, and you can just smile while they be criticizing you or wondering about you. They really want to know how you do it. Okay. How do you maintain your keeping it together? So listen, this next strategy, I can't stress enough the importance of communication, communication, communication. Yeah, it's a foundational skill. And you leaders out there, know it's a strong, important, critical leadership skill. Your active listening, your nonverbal communication, your checking in with your employees, the people you work with, that same skill of communication that you do real well, take it to home. Same thing, because you want to check in with your loved ones. You want to schedule regular times to talk and listen with your significant other. You want to make sure that you practice your active listening, and that sometimes it ain't about arguing or expressing your point of view. It's just about listening, so you can create a home, a space that people want to come home to. So you're going to get it together, your home, so that you want to come to home to you, you want to come home to your home, and you also want to create, develop, imagine, make possible that space that your man or your significant other wants to come home to as well. So, creating that space, listening, um, all of those things that we learn about good communication, we can bring those skills in home to home. And I'm talking about not just listening to our significant others' day to day activities, but more so listening to the feelings, their ambitions, their challenges. With our children as well, too. This helps keep us together as we manage, as we build that leadership in our career, in our businesses, the organizations we run, and our home life. The skill of listening and being there for others works. And I know it's been incredible for me in my journey to learn the importance of that and communication. If you all are finding any of this helpful, we do this on a daily basis in my community, Elevate Next Level Success. I invite you to come and join us. Talk about it on a day-to-day basis. I have found that consistently applying this next strategy has yielded incredible results, and that is to prioritize your physical development. Now, many people talk about this as exercise. Yeah, and it's some of that, but I want you to really imagine it bigger than that. I want you to think about working your body and being developed physically so that you are exercising, you are taking care of your body. I remember when I was younger, I did not do this at all. And what I did though was make excuses to get out of the house every morning. I'm a morning person. To get out of the house every morning to go work out because it was the only time that I had to myself and I could go somewhere where no one was yelling my name. Okay? No one was asking, Mom, this, Geneva, that, nothing. So I would get up early. Now I'm talking 4ish in the morning, get my stuff together and go out to work out. And I had a slew of different places that I could go to because I needed to create all of these places that I could go work out in so that I would go. And I laugh about it now, but that's what I did it. But after a while, I started feeling real good. And then it became a habit. I got my nose open. Y'all know that expression now. If you know that expression, drop it. I mean, is that too old school for you? Okay. I got my nose open about it. I felt good about it. And then I started doing more and more. And I found that the more I took care of my physical body, that not only the better I felt, but I wasn't as stressed out all the time. And then I could do different things because I'd listen to the music when I work out. And so that was like a double hit, just really great. I'd go places that I enjoyed to work out. And after a while, I just built it into a habit. And now I can't start my day without exercising. So every day I work my body. I strength train, I do cardio, I walk, I do something. And lately I've been dancing. Yes, indeed, which is another thing for you sisters out there who like to dance. Go take yourself some dance lessons. But the point is that one of the ways to really do a strategy that can help you keep it together as you're balancing being this incredible, awesome leader and managing your home is to take care of your physical development, to work out, to exercise your body, to move, to find yourself in a space where you can move and do your thing. And as a high achieving woman with these multiple responsibilities, It's absolutely critical that you invest in your physical development. And listen, if you don't want to do it to reduce your stress now, to get yourself out of the house, whatever it is, if you can't find the motivation or the reason, think about this. It'll help you live longer. And that's what my investment of 40 plus years, that's the thing that I have realized, that the investment that I put in early life in my physical development is paying off today. My energy level and everything else. And you can start today, and those investments will make a difference. Your body is your temple, and you're going to be with yourself forever. So stop now and make sure, if you're doing your exercise, and take it, mwah, love it. I'm glad of that. If you ain't, start. If you're already doing whatever it is, elevate it to the next level. Take care of your body. Now, a powerful thing that I do believe every woman should embrace, and this is nothing new, is to learn how to say yes or no. And so when we're talking about keeping it together, between being a leader and our family responsibilities, you got to learn the art of both. We hear a lot about saying no, but I want you to consider saying yes as well too. That is, that you learn what's a priority to you, what's valuable to you, what holds weight, and you learn how to say yes to those things. And the more you say yes to family, to your loved ones, to your children, to your significant others, the more you learn to say yes to that, the better able you will be in managing those relationships, in navigating what happens at home and with the people that you love. So learn a lot about what your boundaries are, what you love, what you value, um, and set those clear values between work and life. I remember when Otha, my husband, and I first, we were young, started out in our career. Hey, we was doing, every time you turned around, we was doing something for our careers. We was kicking it. We were these baby boomers, and we was in action, and we was doing everything. We was grinding the whole bit. We was grinding. And that's a good short-term strategy. But long-term, it really doesn't work. And and after a while, we began to realize that, and started, intentionally. Well, I started intentionally creating these opportunities, um, these powerful opportunities to do things and to set these boundaries. And this is a PS. And when I say I started, what I mean by that is, he clearly was the king of my household, but I ran things. Okay. And that's what we do. And so managing that feminine, masculine energy, is something that we, in fact, it the more that we do it, the better we are in doing it, the better things work out. And so I do want you to say yes to things, because oftentimes it's in those yeses that those lifetime memories are created. Now, this next strategy has been an absolute lifeline for me, and that is that financial empowerment, knowing about my finances, making sure that I am well insured. And I'm just checking. I see many of you are. I'm getting text messages for those who can't join online, but they're watching and just dropping me some notes. Thank you. Mwah, love you. Hey, listen, being well insured, uh, and making sure that your finances are in order, and talking with your significant other about this, having real deal conversations and developing that financial literacy and a plan. You got to do it. And, this is one of the stressors in relationships, home relationships with significant others, your partner, your man, finances. So, getting this under control, cultivating that empowerment, creating this financial plan, becoming more financially literate, um, that is key to help keeping it together and managing your relations. That strong financial foundation is essential to your personal and professional life. And oftentimes we don't talk about it enough. And on this show, Dr. Geneva Speaks show, did y'all see my new cover and all of that? Trying to elevate y'all. That's what we doing. But having this being financially literate, making sure that you're putting things in place. We're going to be talking more and more about this on the show and any other issues that you feel are important to your leadership and well-being. Okay. Then finally, the last this is a transformative practice that I've embraced wholeheartedly as a leader and with my family. And that is to just be your authentic self. Yeah, yeah. When you get to know yourself, when you are yourself, when you're open, when you can connect, when you're living your best life, when you're designing and creating the life that you want, the career that you've got to have, doing those passions and hobbies and things that you've always dreamed about. Yes, you are yourself. You are being you, your authentic self, your vibrant self. And this is one of the most important practices that we as women leaders need to do because it rests us in our who we are and our being. And when we can settle into that, when we know it, when we understand it, and when we love ourselves, then we can be anything we dream or imagine. And we can have those juicy, delicious relationships with our man. We can be that extraordinary, awesome role model for our children. So, finding our purpose, our desires, understanding ourselves, and embracing and elevating authenticity is perhaps the most important strategy to keeping it together as that awesome leader and that amazing mom and super delicious wife. And so I wanted to lead on that strategy. And that's my final piece of advice that I wanted to give, and that was be unapologetically you. Do you. It's all right. You good. You're going to be with you forever. So why not have fun and be with it? I can't tell you how many high achievers, how many high achieving women that I coach and work with who say to me, Dr. Geneva, I don't know how to have fun. Dr. Geneva, I don't know. I ain't too sure about how to enjoy myself or be my authentic self. You can do it. And if any of you want to have some further conversation about this, book an appointment with me, go to LinkedIn. You'll see my profile there. I'm always there here in Loving the opportunity to talk together with you, to partner. But also, please join me every Wednesday. So now let me see your comments. So there ends the lesson. Let me see your uh, comments and everything. Yes, as when I mentioned when we opened up, I talked about how it's a beautiful day because I got up, you got up, and Trinette was reminding me that yes, we're on the right side of the dirt. Love it. Thank you. How you doing, Bridget? Oh my goodness. Is that Janelle? Oh my gosh. That's my sister, my blood sister. Mwah, 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 mwah. My baby sister. Can I say baby sister? She's a beautiful, wonderful, my heart. She's this awesome, extraordinary healthcare worker. She's been in the healthcare industry for many years, doing incredible, fabulous work. How you doing? Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Love you. Thank you, Bridget, for all your comments. I miss you, Bridget. I'm glad to see you. Um, yes, see? So Bridget talks about those chores, and my sister's on. Janelle, if you still on, you remember them chores mom used to have us do. Yeah. And, I'd be cussing, saying things. I don't know if I was cussing back then, but I'd be certainly talking underneath my breath, about why I have to do this. And she's sitting up there. Y'all did it. But I am so grateful because I know how to keep a bathroom clean. I know how to take care of house. I know how to cook, all that kind of stuff, all of that. Just, hey there. Miss Eve, now that is my girl. You want to talk, one of the things that I think, and we can do a show on that as well, in terms of when we're talking about what it is for us to continue to be vibrant as we run these multi-million dollar companies and be vibrant in doing that and in being that wonderful, wonderful, awesome woman at home and being able to use both the masculine and feminine energy. And one of the people who I think does that real well, who knows how to keep herself together always on top, is my girl, Miss Eve. Love you. Started back. Okay. Thank you for all these wonderful comments. It is so great. We got any questions? Good. Fabulous lesson. Needed this today. Please, Bridget, let me know even more, whatever topics you want to talk about. Yeah, miss you so much. Thank you. Um, Stop, breathe, and believe. Melissa related to that the most. Yeah, again, well, first of all, I got tons of strategies. Look, I'm the length of life experience that I've had. And as you know, I was thinking about it the other day when I looked back on my life and recognized that, I was married for 40 years, and then my husband got taken from me to cancer, and I became a widow, and then I became a single woman, and there is a difference. And I raised three extraordinary human beings, three children who have children and are working and, have fabulous jobs, careers, and are doing their thing. And then I've run organizations, multi-million dollar organizations, small ones, big ones, and have been in the community on a variety of different pieces. I've been on a bank board, I've been on a university board, I've run schools, I've been a superintendent. As I'm only saying this, I'm only running this litany of things to let you know that I said to myself, I've done a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of experiences. And so I worked a lot of strategies, whole bunches of things that a lot of them didn't work, but I tried them. And that's why that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still coming to you. I'm on this mission to share it. I mean, why shouldn't I be sharing what I've learned for your generation, for the younger generation, and your younger generation to me? Why shouldn't I be sharing that and why am I interested in sharing that? Because the better you are as a leader, the more positive influence you'll have on others. And that makes it even better, even more possible to create this beautiful community and world and make it a great place for our children. That's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm interested. And trust, I'm doing all of it, still running my business, coming to you, dating, having life, loving, dancing, the whole bit, because we can do it all. Okay, so thank you much. I see we got a question. Okay, let's get this question before we close. And please come back every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. So Melissa asked, how do I manage my calling when my husband doesn't have the same entrepreneurial energy as I do? I'm ready to break free and step into my calling, but sometimes I have to pull back. It's challenging. Yes. Well, Melissa, first of all, I want to say to you, congratulations for knowing and recognizing your calling, because you didn't deal with it as just something to do, but you're saying calling. So you have recognized your talent, your God's gift, and you want to do that. And so, congratulations to you, and for also having the courage to want to step out and do it. Secondly, let me share that there are going to be lots of obstacles in your way when you want to do your calling, whatever it is, because that's how life is. It is the ups and downs and the valleys and the mountains and all of that. So there's going to be a number of things in your way. And I know you've talked about your hubby being one perhaps of those, because he doesn't have that same kind of energy. But I just wanted to remind you that as you work now, as you raise this question, and as you're I'm hearing authentically trying to figure out what to do with your hubby, as you go through that process, look at it as a learning process to be able to use when those other obstacles can come up. Now, specifically to the relationship with your hubby and perhaps the imbalance in energy, the first thing I suggest is you talk to him, and not in any kind of accusatory or blame, but tell him, I've got this calling and I want to do it. I'm not sure how you feel about it, or how do you feel about it? And see what he says. Um, he may be delighted. That hearing your calling may give him more energy. But talk to him. I think that's the first step. And then second, make sure that you listen to what he's saying and try to dive as deep as you can, because oftentimes, particularly with men, they find it kind of hard to talk about their emotions and dive deep. And so don't do this as let me try this once. And then, I didn't get nothing. I'm going to walk away. Don't work at it. You got to work at it. One of the things I learned about being married for 40 years, every day was an adventure. And every day I had to take that trip and work on it every single day. So it's always a process of working on it, sitting back and reflecting and working on it and investing in and doing new things. But listening and communication is so key. The other thing I want to say to you as well is to consider. I think you said he doesn't have the same entrepreneurial energy as I do. Now, I'm not sure what all that means, but him not having that level of energy means maybe he doesn't because you're different. You're two different people. And sometimes we have the expectation that what we feel, what we want to do, needs to be matched by someone else or everybody else. And rarely is it, so that I think it's so important to really hear where he is and kind of figure out what does that mean. And you've got to step into your calling one way or another. And so having that conversation with him, I think, matters. So good luck. Keep me posted on how it goes for you, Melissa. Love you. Thank you for joining. And I hope that was helpful. And love you all. See you next time. Bye.